Peace and blessings, family. Welcome to this new podcast.
Yes.
This is Divine Seeds. I'm Dijon.
I'm Julian Gordon.
So we linked up less than a month ago at the Glow Up. It was up in Atlanta this year. We had Londrell, Tony Jones, Ebony Davis, Tone Levels, myself, Kevin Walton, my mom. It was a very enlivening spiritual experience.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I went as a participant. This was my first year going. I heard about it for the past few years, and I was just excited to go and participate. I'm always out here building community, and it was just one thing to just immerse myself as a member of community, and I absolutely loved it.
Yes, and he gave me his book, Rich and Righteous, at the event. Mm-hmm. And when I got home and read it, I was just so blown away. I think it's the most powerful book on money and finances that I've ever read. And I personally, my main teacher is Yeshua. So he does a really amazing job of breaking down Yeshua's teachings on money and the biblical teachings on money and explaining it in ways that are easy to understand and actually make it make sense immediately. Because I don't know about anyone else, but a lot of times when I read the Bible, sometimes I'm like, what does that even mean? I don't understand what that means.
Yeah.
But he really broke it down. So I reached out and I was like, we're so aligned, let's link. We linked up over here and started brainstorming, and Divine Seeds was birthed.
Just like that, a divine seed. Men give birth to. All the seeds are on our minds. And this is why we named it Divine Seeds, because we believe that any God-given idea that is put into you, you're supposed to give birth to. And all of us have a divine seed inside of us. And I think sometimes even as a parent, I'm a parent of a beautiful 10-year-old girl, we can actually lose our identity as we step into parenthood of a physical seed. But there are these ethereal divine seeds that are coming to us at all times. And to the extent that our soil of our subconscious mind is receptive enough to actually take them in, that's what allows us to produce 100-fold in this physical material experience.
Yes, So know that we got you. Everything we plant in your mind in this podcast, we're going to water and multiply so that you can live an abundant lifestyle. So we're so grateful you're here. Everyone can benefit from this. So we're glad you're tapped in.
So why do we create Divine Seeds? We created Divine Seeds because it is for anybody who knows that they have a God idea in them, not just a good idea, but a God idea inside of them that they know they are meant to give birth to and that they're supposed to manifest at a great level. When you look at a fruit tree, for example, a fruit tree does many things. While it may have started as a seed, as a thought, what happens is once it actually blossoms and it fully grows, it is able to feed not only you, but it's also able to feed other people. A lot of times when we set goals, especially as we approach New Year's and things of that nature, our goals are pretty selfish. They're all about us. But what if you actually transferred your goals and thought about them in a different way and said, how can I create goals that actually bless other people? Do you think that you would not be blessed if you actually create a goal that is seeking to bless as many people as possible? As you give, so you shall receive. That blessing is going to come back to you in ways that you couldn't have even imagined. So we want to get out of the selfish mindset, and we want to think about how to be selfless and giving to others. And when we do that, what I've found from a spiritual standpoint is that it always returns back to me.
100%. And it's just the law of the universe, It's like when you give something, you receive it back. And this goes deeper into the idea of non-duality or wholeness or oneness, right? So when you're giving to someone else, you are giving to yourself. And there may be a slight delay. It may not come directly back from the person that you gave to, but the universe keeps a perfect balance of books. So if you're putting good energy out, you're going to get good energy back. So you can trust that. And the reason why I'm so excited to learn from you and to build with you is because investing is so important, knowing how to invest. Sometimes people think investing is only related to finances, but investing is related to any type of energetic expenditure.
Yeah.
Like, what is the return on your investment for the energy that you're putting out?
Yeah.
So I was talking to a client yesterday, and they were saying their energy was low. And they had a lot of stuff to do, and they're like, I missed the last 2 days. I'm probably not going to make tomorrow. Something tells me I'm not going to make tomorrow because I don't have the energy. And I was like, well, what is that something telling you it's not going to make it? And they're like, oh, my schedule. And I was like, well, it's just you. You're just telling yourself you're not going to make it. you have the choice to decide. And I was like, so when you work out, how do you feel afterwards? And they were like, I feel good. And I was like, do you have more energy or less energy? And they were like, I have more energy. So we have to spend energy no matter what we're doing, but we have to ask ourselves, what is the return on investment for the energy that we're sending out into the world? Because even though you may get up earlier to go to the gym and get that hour in, maybe then you're going to be energized throughout the day to be able to tackle all your tasks.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say you slept in or whatever else you were doing, like you just slept in right until your alarm went off and then you just kind of jumped up out of bed, then maybe you're not energized in the same way. So that's an example of two different types of action, and one is going to yield more energy than the other one.
Yeah.
So when you start to think of, I'm investing my time and energy into these things and what kind of return on investment am I getting back, then you start to live consciously and amplify your energy, because we all have the same amount of time in the day, and yet some people are able to get so much more done than others.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is that?
Yeah.
100%. I mean, when you look at somebody like Richard Branson or you look at Elon Musk, you see them creating huge businesses, right? And multiple businesses. Yet they have the same God force, life force energy inside of them as inside of you. They have the same 168 hours every single week. So how is it that these individuals can be so expansive in terms of how they are actually creating in the world? Whether you look at Richard Branson's Virgin Brands, whether you look at Elon Musk with SpaceX, Solar City, Tesla, and regardless of the politics, you have to respect how they are creating and how they're creating at such a great level. But what has happened is that the physical manifestation of money, right? Money is just stored energy. It is an inert spiritual substance that can be used to do good or do bad. It all depends on the intention of the person who's holding it and how they decide to use it. So they have been able to, one, magnify their energy, right? And then they've been able to get some of that energy back in the form of actual physical material wealth. But the greatest currency in the world is the God-given energy that is inside of you. Because if you have no more God-given energy inside of you, then guess what? None of this material stuff matters anyways. And so it is a game of energy management. I know for a long time, I was focused on time management, how to squeeze the most out of my day. And then I realized that the real game is actually energy management, because I can give you my time and not give you my energy. If I'm sluggish, like that person that you just mentioned, if I'm sluggish, then even if I commit 8 hours, I'm not being very productive. And it actually might be better for me to take a nap. And the reason I laugh is because as an entrepreneur, you know, I do have time freedom. And I do primarily work from home at this moment in time. And naps. I think naps are the secret to the kingdom of heaven, yo. You know, as kindergartners, we had it all figured out. But at some point, we took naps off the table. And it's like, no, I just need to grind. I need to work hard. I need to put in a 16-hour day. I'll sleep when I'm dead. And I bought into all of that and I actually became a workaholic. And more time didn't mean more productivity. In fact, if you look at Parkinson's Law says that work expands the field, space, and time. So if I give you 3 hours to take a 1-hour test, how long does it take you? Takes you 3 hours. So if I say I have a 16-hour day and there was really only 4 hours of work, how long do I take? I take 16 hours to do it. And so I found that by actually constraining spaces and time, I'm actually more productive. And we all have examples of it, especially when we're in college and you had a term paper due. What did you do? You waited till the final 3 hours and somehow you pumped out 10 pages because you only needed that 3 hours to do it, even though you had 30 days to do it. So it really triggered and kicked in the moment you know you needed to start. But you could have saved yourself a lot of stress if you would have just locked in and did the 3 hours at the beginning, and then you would have had 30 days of just peace and no stress.
Right. Yeah, I feel like a lot of times the hardest thing is getting started.
Yeah.
You know, just like moving from the blank page and getting that inertia going. And that's why there's all these things, and we're going to give you these tools and these hacks to overcome those types of things, because the hardest part of anything is going either from stopped to starting or in flow to stopping, right? Because you're already got the inertia going.
Yeah.
So if you can just get the energy moving in the direction you want to, it's naturally going to flow more in that direction.
Yeah.
I had a friend who is a DJ, and he has Ableton, which is a music making software. And he was like, oh, it's complicated. You know, I haven't got a chance to tap into it yet. And I feel the same way. Like I've had Ableton for like 6 or 7 years, and I've only made one song on Ableton. All my other songs are in my Logic. And I was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to, for 7 days, master the smallest amount of effort possible, meaning we're just going to open the program on our computer. Just open the program, you take a picture, and you send it to me. And I'm going to take a picture and send it to you. And the accountability is we're going to do it for 30 days, or we're going to ramp up each week. I'm going to send you $300, Apple Cash. You're going to send me $300. When I send the picture, you send me $10. When you send the picture, I send you $10.
I like that.
So it's like, money is currency. Current is flow. So that it has to flow, right? So we're both, I think, on day 6 right now.
Yeah.
And we've done it every day because we're able to send that energy back and forth, and we're not actually paying anything unless we don't do what we agreed to. So then there's a opportunity cost for not aligning with your word.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes that's not tangible. So you're like, I didn't go to the gym today. It's not a big deal, because you're not noticing those micro things that end up taking you off course to your fully realized destination.
Yeah.
But when you start to really lock in and be fully dedicated to the path, and even, like you were saying, measure these things and be intentional, then you end up at the highest level of expression in whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
And I feel like the clearest example that I've seen, and I know that we all can recognize, is Kobe with the Mamba mentality. Like, we all love to watch Kobe, and then after he passed, people really were diving into what got him to that level of output and grace and brilliance. And he was talking about his workout regimen, and he was like, okay, basketball is my priority and my family is my priority, and I'm not willing to sacrifice either one of those things. So I'm gonna sacrifice all my other relationships. So I'm not gonna miss taking my kids to school, so I'm gonna work out before my kids get up to go to school. So he would be in the gym at like 4 or 4:30, doing 2 hours of workouts before his kids are even up, to then take them to school. And everybody else in his class was working out once a day. The people that really got at it were doing it twice a day. So he said, I'm gonna do it 3 times a day. So he was working out 3 times a day, which puts him ahead of everyone doing it. Light years ahead of people doing it that one summer, right? Because you're doing 50% more. But then if you multiply that over the 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, he was like, they'll never catch me.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
Like, I've already outpaced them so much, and my skill level is so much higher. And now I have the confidence because I know I put in more time.
Yeah.
And confidence is a result of being present with your craft and refining it.
Yeah.
So that's why when Matt Barnes is, pumping the ball at his face, he's like, I'm not the one to play with.
Yeah.
And anyone can do that. It's a choice. It's a choice to choose to dive into yourself. And some of these codes that we've just been sharing about, mindset, or the way to think about your energy investment and what the return on investment is, are those divine seeds. They're going to help you elevate to your highest potential.
Yeah, 100%. I stopped putting dates on my goals. And one of the reasons why is because, they said, write your goal down and put a date on it. What I realized is that when you put a date on it, you think it's actually pushing you to get it done by that particular time. But the reality is, it's actually your quit date. God, if this doesn't happen by this date, then I'm giving up. You're actually declaring when you're going to give up if it doesn't manifest. But if you look at real seeds that get planted in the ground, whether it's an apple tree, a pumpkin seed, or whatnot, they don't have any dates. They just stay in alignment with the universal flow. They stay in alignment with the seasons, and they already know, and they hold the belief that I'm going to grow into this thing. When it happens is not my time. We don't know the hour, as scripture says. We don't know the hour. I just know that this is who I am. When you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, on the package of seeds, it does not say the word seed. It does not say the word seed. It says pumpkin. It says asparagus. It says lettuce. It says tomato, right? It says what it is. See, the seed is just the stage that it's in. It's not what it is. Seed is the stage. And so some of us say, oh, I got a small business. No, small may be the stage that you're in. That's not what your business actually is. Your business has the potential to be grandiose, So I stopped putting dates on my goals because the reality is, if I truly believe something and I want it to manifest, then I just have to hold the belief regardless of how long it takes.
Ashe.
And what I believe that does is that when you take the date off of it and you just focus on holding your belief, I believe it actually manifests faster than any date that you actually would have put on it in the first place.
Ashe. I love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And obviously, you understand what you're talking about. I mean, that's why, you say your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
What I wanted to step into more in this season of my life was my financial mastery and financial liberation, because I want to provide for my family. I want to be able to be a good steward of wealth. I want to be a provider. And meeting you was like, okay, there it is externalized. I see what it is. Like, this brother's living it. He has the codes. And just being in your vicinity, in your presence, I'm already downloading so much.
Appreciate that.
And now you are too, right? Because we got mad codes to give y'all.
Yeah, mad codes. Yeah, for us who are on this spiritual path, there are a lot of spiritual hangups around money. Seeing it as a negative tool only repels it from you. We say we want to be rich, but at the same time, we hate rich people. Those are two incongruent thoughts. So when scripture says a house divided against itself cannot stand, that has nothing to do with marriage if you go read it in context, but that's how people do it. And this is how people take the Bible out of context all the time. What Yeshua was really saying is that a mind, a house, a temple, right, divided against itself cannot stand. And he was actually talking about, how can I be casting out these demons while you calling me the devil or son of the devil, right? It's not possible for those two things to be happening at the same time. And so when it comes to money, we say we want to be rich with our mouths consciously, but subconsciously we actually hate rich people. And so what that does is you actually trap yourself in your own language and your own thinking, because now it puts you in a position where if you become rich, then all of a sudden you become evil. And the true identity that we have as spiritual people is that we want to be identified as good. We want to be identified as righteous. 100%.
And no one actually hates money. That's just like a classic jealousy thing. Because if someone came up to you with a briefcase with $1 million and they just said, you can just have this, no one would say, no, I don't want it. I hate money. Right?
Facts.
No one would say that.
Yeah.
They hate money. What that really means is, like, I don't know how to access the money I want to access. Right.
So I have to hate people who are accessing it.
Right. And money is energy, so money is infinite. And
100%.
we are infinite beings. And it's really, like we're talking about, learning how to amplify your energy so you get the greatest return on investment. And I want to go back to what you were saying about not putting a date on your goals. It's really not even about the goal at all, right? It's really about the game and the system that's moving you towards something, because we are eternal beings, right? And we're moving towards more powerful levels of conscious creatorship.
Yeah.
So having a goal doesn't really mean anything. Like, every team in the NBA has the goal to win a championship, but only one does.
Yeah.
So what differentiates that one team that wins from the other ones? And it's usually the systems they have in place to help them reach their goal. So once you know the goal, you can have a goal, but then it's like, what are you going to do on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis to take incremental steps towards the realization of that which you desire?
Yeah, 100%. It's who you become along the way. It says, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. So when something comes to you, you actually don't have to go get it. Like when you hail an Uber, you don't go chase the car. You used to have to chase taxis in New York, right? But it now comes to you. And so it's really them stepping to their identity of champions. We label them champions after they win best out of 7, but they were champions before they actually got the actual title. They were holding the identity of champion longer and stronger than any of the other teams, and that's what allowed them to persevere. I used to love watching March Madness, college basketball, because in college basketball you have all these rankings. Oh yeah, Duke is the best, this and that, number 1, number 2, they're gonna make it to the Final Four. And then you see, I remember when Arizona, they were ranked 8th, and it was Bibby and Miles Simon. And
I remember that.
Yeah, man. And I loved watching them, right? Because they're like, these little rankings don't matter. I don't care if our regular season was that. I don't care if you beat us in the regular season. We are holding the identity as champions stronger than anybody else that is here. In fact, you are all sitting on your high horse because you've been ranked number 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the entire year. And you think that you're just going to naturally walk into this. But there's a belief inside of us, despite what the rankings were, despite the fact that we were 8th seed, et cetera, there was a belief inside of the 10, 12 of us that is greater than the belief that is inside of you. And we've been doing those things systematically and consistently, and our belief is strengthening. And this is how you have an 8th seed win the NCAA tournament. And so it is a becoming that happens, and that's the real reward, is who you become en route to that. The little trophy, nobody really cares about the trophy. Nobody really cares about the ring, right? It is about who I became. I became an NBA champion. I became an NCAA champion, right? That's the becoming, and that's the most powerful thing, is who you become, not what you get from it. Now, what you get is the icing on the cake, and sometimes that is financial reward and abundance, in addition to other things as well.
Ashe. Yeah. Man, I feel activated. How y'all feel? So yeah, we just wanted to let this episode be an introduction for what type of energy and information we're going to be sharing. We're also going to give you a chance to get to know each other more as we get to know each other and share our stories and how we came to be at this level of frequency and vibration. And we're going to have also some guests on here to share their past and the codes that they have and plant more divine seeds in your mind. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It's all codes, and it's up to us to reprogram our mind. And so how do you reprogram your mind? You put in a new code. You test it, you see what the result is, and if the result is better than what you've been getting, then you keep running with that code. And it's a constant process. It's a never-ending process. You get from one level to the next level to the next level. The code that worked down here doesn't work here. The code that worked here does not work here. You could be the best NCAA basketball player, then suck in the NBA, right? So the codes shift, and we want you to be aware of the power you have to reprogram not only your conscious mind, but also your subconscious mind. The conscious mind is actually not the powerhouse. What is powerful about the conscious mind is that it has executive authority over the subconscious, but the subconscious actually runs 95% of your life. And so the conscious mind has the power to reprogram the subconscious mind, but we have to take our time to do that. We have to see how the subconscious mind is operating and then take executive authority and say, nope, we're going to change that. I know we've been running off that code for 20, 30, 40 years. It's not working. It's not getting you the result you want in your finances. It's not getting you the result you want in your love life. It's not getting you the results you want in your business or in your relationships. So we need to change that code. And that's the beauty of the conscious mind. And here we call that Christ consciousness. It's elevating to the top of your temple, right? Yeshua is taking to the top of the temple. We want to elevate to the top of the temple, be able to see what we created, the kingdom or queendom that we created, and say, you know what? I want to change that over there. But in order to change that, I need to make an executive decision from my conscious mind to actually change how I've coded the subconscious mind. And actually the subconscious mind wasn't all your coding. A lot of that coding is handed down from generation to generation to generation. A lot of it came from your parents, societal programming, religion, education, etc. And sometimes we have to just wipe it all clean, right? We got to turn over the table and start from scratch. So we're going to be going through that process. We're going through it now as we seek to reach another level in our own lives. We're clearing the table, turning over the table that existed so that we can reach another plateau, so that we can have higher and greater impact than we've had thus far, even though the work that we've done thus far has been great.
Ashe. God has no limits.
No limits.
It's infinite. So.
No limits, soldier.
We're just here to express the infinite nature of God, and we're glad to be doing that with you.
Yeah.
So we'll see you real soon. Thanks for tuning in.
Peace.